Hello there everyone, and welcome back to the next video for the Clone Wars MOC update series. And in today's episode I work more on the building that I showed off in last episode, so I actually add some new battle damage and destroyed elements to it, as well as messing around with the scale size of it, and then I work on the main floor that's going to be inside the building, the small portion of the floor. So lots of exciting things in this episode, and without any further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so I actually went in here and shortened this wall a little bit. I got some great feedback from you guys, and there were a few comments of you guys saying, you liked the taller building, but maybe you could take just a few plates off of it. So I was like, you know what, that's a pretty good idea. So I went back in and took some parts off of the top, and then made the gap in between the windows a lot shorter as they were earlier, because the main thing is I want this building to be tall so that I can have two floors in the back over here, because that's something I really want, is these two floors. I definitely want that in there, so I kept that, and then I just made it a tad bit shorter overall, but it still is, I think, going to be, it's barely bigger than the building back there. It's slightly bigger than that one, so it will be the largest building here, but I took some off of it after hearing back from you guys, and I think that was probably the right call, was to make it just a little bit shorter, so I did. So the next step here is some battle damage. Again, I think I got a few comments on making this a little more battle damage, so next step is to go in here and kind of tear up. So the next step that I'm going to do here is go back in and add some battle damage. I also got a few comments from you guys kind of talking a little bit about the battle damage on this building, so what my plan is next is to go through and kind of add in some different parts that are kind of destroyed, and you'll be able to see through the wall right here and into the actual building. So I'll do some battle damage, maybe a few spots where a wrist rocket kind of came in and just blew part of the section of the wall off. So instead of it being a super large destroyed area, I might just do small little pockets all over the place, instead of making it one giant explosion. Instead of one giant artillery or rocket that just blew out the bottom here, maybe I'll do two or three different little holes from smaller impacts from wrist rockets and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the next thing that I am going to get started on. Alright guys, so I went in here and started to add some battle damage here on the kind of side of the wall. So you can see up at the top right there, I took a little bit off of it up the top there, and then kind of every once in a while I went in and added some battle damage. So I kind of just took some plates out and then added in a few 1x1 plates, and then some T-slopes, as you can see, and a few studs here and there. But yeah, pretty much this is kind of what I was envisioning for destroyed parts. I didn't want to make it super destroyed, so I kind of went with more of a less is more type approach here, where there's just a few spots that are kind of battle damaged, and I think it fits in with the rest of the village now, but it still has that overall kind of shape that I was hoping for in terms of how big it is, and making it seem like this structure is a good piece of cover for the clones, to kind of hide behind while they're getting shot at from the mountain. But yep, that's pretty much it. Nothing too special, just a few battle damage parts here and there, and maybe I'll add more in the future, but this is kind of what I've got going so far. And then I also went in on this other side here. Earlier in the episode I didn't really have anything built right here. I just kind of had that bottom part, but now I've kind of went back in and created a little bit more here on the side of the building, and I added in one window right there, and you can see there's a few more destroyed parts throughout this little section on the side right here, and it kind of starts over here where there's not much to it, and then it kind of builds up and up into more a strong structure, and it kind of connects with the wall. So I think this is definitely a phase one, so this is definitely going to change in terms of I think the design I might change a little bit in terms of the color placement on the side right here, but this is kind of what I was thinking of, how it kind of gradually goes up. So this side over here is pretty destroyed, but more on this side is kind of more built up and structurally sound in terms of how tall it is. So that's what I've got going on it so far, but I think I'm probably going to move some stuff around, with the where the colors and the dark gray and light gray mix in. But for now, this is kind of a good way to show you guys kind of what's in my head in terms of what I'm thinking for this building right here. Alright, so we're here now in the kind of other side of the wall here on the floors. I talked a little bit about this last episode, but I've got these two kind of floor levels right here, and then I started to add some damage to it, so you can see in there. I know it's kind of hard to see. My apologies, but you can kind of see down in there. I started to kind of build something where part of the floor has been destroyed, so it's just a hole that somebody might get fall into and fall to the bottom here. Kind of part of the floor has been damaged, so it's not entirely structure. It's not entirely stable for the most part, so I started on a little battle damage in there, if you can see it. I plan to do a few more spots of that kind of in this bottom level and up top. For this top area up here, my plan is to actually, if you remember, I mentioned this, I think in the last episode, was to make it kind of look like it's starting to collapse. So it'll be like tilted at an angle, and clones will be starting to fall off and fall down to the bottom floor right there. I'm so excited to like get to work on that. So that's the next kind of thing I'm also going to be working on. So battle damage for the front, and then working on these floors up here, the bottom and the top one in terms of damage floors. So lots of exciting things to get back to work on. And then here's kind of what it's looking like kind of from a step back here. You get a little bit better view of what's going on over here, what the building looks like so far. Now my plan for the rest of the episode here is, next step I think is going to work on this section over here. So I'm going to make this a little taller because I also had a really good suggestion from somebody else in the comment section below, and I'll try to put usually I try to put everyone's like names on the thing, but I'm probably not gonna have a lot of time to edit this, so I'm kind of just going through it. So I really do apologize if I don't have time to like, add some screenshots of your guys' suggestions. But someone had a really great idea of making this side just a little bit taller, so it kind of fits in more over here. So that's my plan kind of for the rest of the episode, is to build up this right side and make it just a little bit taller, so it doesn't feel so weird that one side's super tall and one side is super short. So I want to just add a little bit more to it, not much, just a little bit to kind of make it fit in a little better. And then after I get done with that, I'm going to move on to, I think, the floors inside of the actual kind of wall right here. So like the floor that clone trooper's on, stuff like that. I'm going to add into like designing some of those floors, and then starting to get into more battle damage on the floors, and then try to make it so one floor is kind of starting to collapse and some clones are probably going to fall off of it. So that's kind of the plan for the rest of the episode, and I'm going to go ahead and get back to work. Alright guys, so I've been working a little bit more on this side, and I said I was going to make it a little bit taller, and I did. Not as tall as I was thinking initially, but I just wanted to kind of show you what I've been working on right here for now. So here's what we're looking at. Essentially what I did here was kind of use a similar kind of strategy / technique that I used when I did like the terrain for this build. I'm kind of doing lots of different layers and leaving the studs exposed. So I kind of was messing around a little bit with that here, because I think when you leave the studs exposed on like a building like this, to me it always gives off the vibe of like a destroyed thing. So there's lots of like jagged edges and points. It's not very smooth, It's pretty destroyed. That's kind of what I'm going for here. And also, I don't know if you can kind of tell here, some of this stuff is actually offset. So if you use like a jumper plate, like I'm using a 1x2 jumper plate, behind and inside this structure, and you can actually offset some of the bricks. So you can see like this one back here is like in the middle back here. So I'm kind of using jumper plates to make stuff not line up evenly, kind of like right there too. It's kind of hard to see, but it makes things not line up perfectly even. So you can place like the 1x2 bricks and stuff on this jumper plate, and it gives kind of a cool offset pattern to it. So that's kind of what I did here. I'm a fan of leaving all these studs exposed for the building to make it more like textured and feel more destroyed and damaged. Going forward here, I don't know if I'm going to keep it at this height or if I'm going to make it a little bit taller. I might try to make it a little bit taller, but I'm also okay with the way it looks right now in terms of height. So I'm going back and forth on it. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do yet. If I want to add to it or kind of keep it the same in terms of height. And now back in this corner over here, I kind of did a similar technique in terms of the like studs exposed, except for I built it just a little bit differently. It's kind of more skinny, if that makes sense. This one was kind of big, and this one is a little more like thin, kind of like that. So you can see I've kind of got just like a few layers of bricks stacked on top of each other, mostly 1x1s, but a few 1x2s, and a few masonry bricks every once in a while. But I feel like it fits this vibe pretty well. I kind of did it in the previous episode too with some of that stuff, where I'm kind of stacking a bunch of like 1x1 plates and 1x1 bricks up, and kind of like putting them at like a different pattern, like one after the other, stacking them on top of each other at different spots. I just feel like it is a good feel for this building. So again, same story with this. I don't know if I'm making it any taller or if I'm going to keep it like that. Part of me wants to make it a lot taller, so I might, but we'll see how much time I've got left here before I've got to head back to school. But this is what I got so far for this side of the building. And here's what we're kind of looking at from the wide shot here with this building. So all the new elements are this side right here, that over there, and that back there. So this is kind of what the building is looking like So far, it's definitely starting to become what I imagined when I started this build, where this side's like, if you remember the reference picture from last episode, this side is pretty destroyed, and then this side's more built up, like mostly like just this backside got hit with artillery, but this side is still barely standing up, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with it so far. The only stuff that is starting to stick out to me that I don't like is this thing over there, that little section. It's not lined up properly. The colors are kind of weird. It just feels very, like, just weird right there. So I like having the window right there, so I'm probably going to keep that, but I think I'm going to rework some of this stuff on the left of the window because it just feels weird to me and I'm not really liking it that much. So I think I'm going to rework that. I don't know what that means right now. I might just make it one solid color. I might try to do a different, pattern or shape or something. Not sure yet, but I think I definitely want to change it. And then again, over on this side, those back two things. If I have time, I'll try to make them higher. If not, I've got to get to work on the floor. So the next design is kind of the floor, like I mentioned in the previous episode, where I want to make this kind of destroyed and starting to fall off like that. So that's kind of the plan as of right now. But first, I think I'm going to fix this side over here first, and then I'll get going on the floor design, and I'll update you guys as I go along. Alright guys, so I'm working here on the kind of collapsed floor as the floor is breaking. So right now you can kind of see what I've got going on here. You can see I've got the floor kind of at an angle right here, and then I've got one poor clone trooper falling off and another clone trying to slide down to kind of grab him before he falls off, but I don't know if he's going to make it or not. And then obviously you can see I cheated a little bit here, but put a little 1x1 brick up there modified to stick the clone trooper's foot on, because right now I haven't figured out a way to get him to attach without using a brick. So but this is the first time I set up figures during this setup, but this has been something that I've been looking forward to for a long time, just the idea of like just these clones getting like falling off this like floor as it's collapsing. Like it's something that I've just been looking forward to. So I'm gonna pretty much doing a lot of different fig setups, trying to figure out the best way to do it, because it's all about balance. And when you've got a slanted floor like this, that makes things very hard to balance. So, but essentially, what I've got on the floor going on right here is one of these pieces. I call them like the like turret pieces, because when I was a kid, the thing to do was always make these the turret pieces because they could move up and down. So that's what these pieces. I've used these a few times in this MOC before. That's what I'm using right here, and you can kind of see it underneath there, connected a little ways under there to the more stable floor, and then I was able to just angle it whatever way I want there, so it's starting to fall down like this, and the whole floor is like that. So I think this is probably going to be the design I go with. As you can see, it doesn't line up perfectly, like with those two plates lined up. There's a little overlap because I couldn't get the alignment quite right. So I might mess around more with that, but I think this is going to be the main design I go with here. Now the next step will be to make some sort of floor pattern. I think that's kind of the next thing. I don't want it to just be regular studs right there, so I might tile it off a little bit or try something like that, but this is kind of what I'm thinking of so far. I think this is going to be really fun, so I'm going to get back to work. You guys know I'm definitely about to have so much fun setting up these figures. Like I said, I've been looking forward to this, and I think this is going to be really fun. I don't know why, like I really don't know why, like this idea appeals to me so much for clone troopers, but I don't know, it just seems so, I don't know, there's that like clones just kind of sliding on the floor, like as buildings, like kind of, the floor is falling and everything like that, the clones are diving all over the place trying to help each other, and they're getting shot at still, and there's a battle going on in the background, like it just, I don't know, it feels very Clone Wars-ish to me, and I really do enjoy that, so yeah, I'm going to find lots of really cool angles and stuff once I get like more figures set up on here, but I think there's some great possibilities with this, so I'll try not to get too sidetracked with this. I got to stop myself, otherwise I'll be doing this instead of actually finishing the floor, but yep, back to work, I suppose. Alright guys, so here is the floor design that I came up with here. Pretty simple, but I think it gets the job done here. I wasn't trying to do anything too complex. Parts are starting to run low, and I wanted something fairly simple that fit in with the rest of the village. It's pretty much a different pattern of dark gray, and then light gray, and then dark gray, kind of in a smooth fashion across the floor right there. That's really all there is to it. It's really not that complex or anything like that. And then down here you can see I also did a little bit of it. In here there's still some stuff I got to figure out with that destroyed part in the ground right there, but otherwise here's the design I was going for. Again, smooth, simple, nothing really too complex. I think later what I might do in the finale is maybe I'll go in and like destroy part of this, if that makes sense. Maybe part of it's like, Right now it's just kind of like the floor just kind of tilted and is starting to fall down, but it might be cool if like some parts have kind of already exploded and there's holes in them and stuff. That's something I'm definitely open to doing if everybody thinks that might be a really, if you guys think that'll be like a cool addition, or maybe it just looks a lot better with just the tiled look, and no damage to it, just like the floor starting to fall off. So there's a few small things in here and there that I've got to kind of figure out, but overall, this is kind of what I was going for with this very smooth floor design. Only problem now is that since it's tiled out, it's going to be really hard to place figures on these tiles when there's nothing to connect them to, but don't worry, I will hopefully try to find a solution to that. And really what that means is I just spend twice as long setting up figures, like trying to get them to balance correctly. But I think the smooth tile definitely works well, so yep, this is what I am thinking of, and this is what I got so far. Alright guys, so here's a look at the building overall here. Semi close to being done. Unfortunately, I've got to head out tomorrow morning to go back to school, so I'm kind of out of time here in terms of working on this building for the time I was home. So essentially, now what this means is this is going to be the end of this episode right here, and I got into a place where I'm happy to stop and kind of say this is kind of what I had in mind. There's some small things, like I want to make the road up front here actually go in and kind of go to the entrance of the building, and then on the inside I want to add just a bunch of random studs, tiles, plates, just stuff all over the floor to really make it kind of like almost like rubble, just kind of all over the ground, so it's not just plain. As you can see, it's just kind of plain, the dark tan plates, but I just want to go in and add a bunch of rubble to it. That's kind of the big last thing that I want to do. And then in terms of like this left side, I think there's some stuff I could change and kind of touch up a little bit over there, but overall, in kind of just an overview sense, I'm happy with it. The right side could also be probably a little bit taller, but again, I've kind of ran out of time here for the time being. So once I get back soon, I should be able to go back in and kind of make that a little bit taller. It's also good just to get away for a while and then come back and look at it with like fresh eyes, maybe there's some new stuff that'll stick out there, maybe some new ideas will come to me, because this past the few days that I've been here, I've just kind of been going and grinding, trying to get this building done. So I think a few days or a week, I guess it'll be like a few weeks away, time away from this, I think will help me quite a bit in terms of what I want to change and everything like that. But guys, this is pretty close to what I had imagined in my head for this building. It looked like it's like going to be the biggest building, and then it's kind of destroyed, generally in a similar fashion to that Stalingrad reference picture I showed in the previous Clone Wars mock update. So overall, pretty happy with this design. Still a few things to touch up here and there, but I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. And here's the front of the building with the window design and like all the little destroyed parts. In the wall there are some destroyed elements that I showed at the beginning of the episode, but here's kind of what the front of the wall is looking like, and then obviously we've got the pond down there, and the path, how it kind of all comes together down over there. So yeah, here's the front of the building. I think I'm happy with it. I think, again, a few weeks away, I'll be able to come back and kind of look at it in kind of a new, fresh eye sense, and hopefully maybe some new things will come to me when I try to look at this again in a few weeks. But I'm pretty happy with the front. It's definitely, I think the window design was the key thing here to really give that kind of Stalingrad feel that I was really going for, so I'm definitely happy with that. Again, any feedback, always appreciated. Definitely if you guys have any cool ideas or criticism, feedback, anything, just let me know. I'll be happy to read through those and respond to you guys, so just let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, so here's a quick update before we go to the outro here. I've got a very busy next few weeks, like just jam-packed with schoolwork and other school video projects for school and short film stuff that I'm doing. I've just got a very busy next couple of weeks here where I'm just going to be really busy, and I'm going to not really be able to come back and build for a while, at least not until a few weeks. So essentially what that means is I think there's going to be like a 1 week where I won't be able to upload a Clone Wars mock update. So you have this Clone Wars mock update, and I think a Project Nightfall video is next, and then after that would be another Clone Wars mock update, but I might have to skip that one because I'm not going to be able to get back and build in that time period. You guys know I absolutely hate missing a week on uploads or not being able to post. So again, I'm giving you guys a fair warning here. My apologies, but I'm going to be ridiculously busy for the next few weeks. But then hopefully by the time Thanksgiving comes around, things will calm back down a little bit, and hopefully I'll be able to come back here and get to work on a lot of videos. I've got so much stuff planned, guys, for this like winter, for late November, December, and January. I've got so many cool things planned in terms of this MOC. We're going to be close to the finale coming up here in a few weeks, in December probably, and then I'm going to be working on the Project Nightfall. And then also I've got the Modern Warfare 2 remastered trailer in Lego, the stop motion one that I've been working on for a really long time now. I'll be able to get back to work on that, which I'm very excited about. And then I've also got a new series that I'm in the works. It's not a MOC series, it's something a little bit different that I'm kind of developing and trying to figure out if it would work as an idea or not. So then I maybe, if this new idea is any good, I might be able to do like, two videos a week if the new idea gets fully developed, and I think it's a good one to go forward with. Otherwise, I've also right now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but kind of in the background of these videos, my room is kind of empty right now. That's because I'm getting a new studio, a new Lego room. So right now my bedroom is the same as my Lego room. It's been like that for years, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to kind of dedicate a room in our basement to a full-on Lego studio. So over the past few months, my family, my awesome family, has been helping me put together a really, really awesome studio, and I'm super excited to show it to you guys. I've been documenting a few things here and there, and I've just got some exciting things planned in there. It's going to look really, really good, and I should be able to start the new, large-scale Brickworld 2021 MOC in the new studio. It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited to announce that project and to complete the Lego studio. I've just got so many exciting things coming up that I'm really excited and I can't wait to do. So again, my apologies for not being able to have a Clone Wars MOC update. To have to take a week off, but trust me guys, it's going to be really good when the next episode comes back, because I've got planned, I think I'm going to have one more normal episode and then the finale. That's kind of the plan right now. So we're getting extremely close to the end of this series. So I'm very excited, but for now I got to take a quick little break while I go finish some school things and stuff like that. But once I get back and I'm able to dedicate some more time to this, it's going to be epic, guys. So sorry again, I'm really sorry for having to miss a week, but hope you guys understand, and I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me throughout this series. So that's about it, and let's get on to the outro. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you did enjoy. As always, let me know any comments, feedback you have in the comment section below. Definitely let me know. This building took a few episodes to get done just because there's a lot of trial and error, different design phases I want to get feedback from with you guys and stuff like that. So definitely feedback, leave it in the comment section below. And in particular, kind of this collapsed floor idea. Do you guys think that's a cool idea? Should I make it just a normal floor? I figured out here that setting up figs is going to be very, very hard with this kind of collapsing floor type thing. It's going to be very hard in terms of balance and everything like that. So, but I'll definitely practice with it, try to get some cool figures set up for the final video. But for now, stay tuned for the next episode where I'll kind of be going back through the village and I think touching up a few things here and there overall with some new landscape stuff and just touching up some of the buildings. So that's kind of the plan for the next episode. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, leave your feedback in the comment section below. Hope you guys have a great day, and may the force be with you always.